Yeah, all good. All good. Just gone for a nice, peaceful Saturday Arvo walk here, and it's a bit cooler than it has been, but nevertheless, it's beautiful, nice and fresh. You can smell the freshly mowed grass and the drizzle, the rain. Had a bit of drizzle, and yeah, beautiful. Love it. And I was doing a bit of reflecting on. I've been doing some reflecting on some of the key learnings when I went to do the intensives in October, and in 2015 October and 2017 October at the Milton Erickson Foundation in Phoenix, Arizona. Dr. Jeffrey Zeig was the main course facilitator, and you could say, for want of a better word, he's a protege of Dr. Milton Erickson. He kind of took his legacy on to a certain degree by founding. I think he was the founder of the foundation, and there's also some other great facilitators on both programs. And I also afterwards would do some of the online stuff that they offer as well. But the whole point today, and the whole point of doing these sort of series, is I think it was sort of valuable information, and I think it's great to sort of share. And whilst I was out there, I've mentioned before that the learnings for me, I thought about how I'd applied the learnings to various areas of my profession based on my remit, but also I thought about football as well. And today I'm going to talk about the future pacing. Now, I knew about future pacing prior to that because I'd done courses in hypnotherapy and LP prior to that, and I've come across it before. But I've said before, like learning Dr. Jeffrey Zeig was sort of different level, really. We're talking about sort of different level, to be honest. So, and at that point, I'm thinking about the application to sort of football and other areas. And I'm going to talk about the application from my perspective to football. So the principle is the unconscious mind does not clearly distinguish between a vivid, imagined future event and a real one. So when you imagine something in full sensory detail, an experience, the sights, the sounds, the physical sensations, your brain begins to treat it as a genuine experience. So neural pathways are activated and emotional responses are generated. So the body begins to prepare. So, for example, when you vividly rehearse a future performance, your unconscious mind begins to treat it as familiar territory. And the brain, we know, based on research, performs better on familiar ground. So Dr. Jeffrey Zeig taught future pacing in the foundation as both a therapeutic and performance tool. So it was really, really interesting, to be fair. And we got a chance to sort of do like a bit of practical work around it and discussions, and there's great people in the room to talk to too and get their perspective as well. But the idea is sort of guiding the client in a relaxed, receptive state through a vivid experience of their goal, having already achieved their goal. Not wishful thinking, not hopeful, but experiencing it in the present tense as if it was already real, so to speak. And look, as I've always said, I'm not here to give anyone any recommendations, advice, suggestions. They're just my own reflections. But I think, based on my observation, it can have a really powerful effect on motivation, on confidence, on performance outcomes that are measurable. Like you could say to someone, okay, what will you see, hear, and feel when you achieve that black belt? What will you see, feel, and achieve when you score that goal? What would you see, hear, and feel when you achieve or you graduate for that degree? So it has a powerful effect on motivation, but also that familiarity. So the adaptation, when I brought future pacing to football, I adapted it specifically for the pre-performance context, not just not so-called generic positive visualization, which I'm sure a lot of people sort of maybe come across, so to speak, which people say can be quite vague or whatever. This is a really specific sensory and present tense mental rehearsal for the exact performance. So some examples are, so for a goalkeeper, you can guide them through specific moments they may be a bit nervous or anxious about, or like a penalty shootout or long range shots, whatever. That could be sort of useful for them. That's not exhaustive. This is, an idea. So guiding through detail. It could be someone stepping up to take a penalty, where you guide them. You think you scored the goal. What do you see? You see the goal. You see the ball hit the back of the net. You feel the feeling of hitting the back of the net. You hear the whoosh sound of hitting the back of the net. You hear the crowd roar, and you've scored the goal type thing. So, these are just a couple of examples. There's obviously other examples there as well. But the idea is to sort of, work. And the idea is to sort of, future pace. So the idea is to sort of imagine achieving the outcome, and what will you see, hear, and feel, even smell and taste, so to speak. So, you score the goal. What do you see? Colours. What do you hear? Sounds, perhaps the crowd roaring. What do you feel? The exhilaration of scoring. What do you smell? Perhaps the sort of grass, mowed grass. What do you hear? The crowd, and really, really engage the senses. So I, whilst I sort of listened to sort of Jeff talk about that, Dr. Jeffrey Zeig, and in conversations thought about how to adapt it specifically for pre-performance context. But that's my take on it. It's always great to hear other people's take on it. That's just sort of my take. It's always great to share ideas, but feel free to share your ideas as well.